In the 90s, raves were defined by pulsating dance floors, hypnotic beats, and legendary gatherings. They were a safe place for those seeking liberation from societal norms, where people could come together in a stigma-free environment and lose themselves in the music. Unfortunately, now raves have become more mainstream, with large-scale commercial events attracting thousands of attendees. While these events still capture the essence of rave culture, they lack the intimacy. The rise of social media and technology has made it easier to find and promote rave events, but it has also diluted the sense of mystery and excitement. In this video, we will talk about how raves in the 90s were dramatically different than whatever is going on at EDC today. 12 raves are all about Plur. Raves are more than just parties with pulsating beats and flashing lights. They're vibrant communities built on a powerful mantra, Plur, which stands for peace, love, unity, and respect. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's the heartbeat of rave culture worldwide. Raves are spaces where aggression is left at the door and harmony is practiced by everyone. It's about creating an atmosphere where everyone feels safe and welcomed, regardless of background or identity. Ravers are asked to embrace each other with open hearts, celebrating diversity and individuality. It's about dancing as one, moving to the same rhythm, and sharing collective experiences. In a world where differences often divide, raves serve as a reminder of our shared humanity. Back then, ravers used to come together in mutual appreciation, fostering a culture of acceptance and understanding. In case you guys are wondering, the mantra Plur originated from a simple statement made by DJ Frankie Bones to stop a fight at the rave. After that, it quickly became the guiding principle of rave culture. 11 candy bracelets are the unofficial accessory of raves.
Beats.
Go for it.
Okay.
If you've ever been to a rave festival, you've probably noticed the vibrant and colorful bracelets adorning the wrists of many attendees. These accessories, known as candy bracelets, are more than just jewelry. They're a symbol of the unique culture that surrounds raves. But what exactly is candy? Candy refers to the brightly colored beads that are used to create these bracelets and other accessories. Each piece of candy is handmade and holds special significance to the person who created it. It's not just about the beads, it's about the memories and experiences associated with them. In the world of raves, candy is more than just a fashion statement. It's a form of expression and connection. When ravers trade candy with one another, it's like exchanging a piece of themselves. Each bracelet represents a memory shared with a fellow raver, a moment of connection on the dance floor. This emotional connection is what makes candy bracelets the unofficial accessory of raves. They're more than just beads strung together. They're a tangible reminder of the bonds formed within the rave community. Almost 500 people were once arrested at raves in Los Angeles. In 2015, the Los Angeles rave scene made headlines for all the wrong reasons. 2 separate raves in the area ended with nearly 500 people behind bars. The charges varied from public intoxication to drug possession and even having fake IDs. Despite the large number of arrests, the police handled the situation calmly and respectfully. Lieutenant Richard Lawhead praised the patrons for their cooperation and good behavior during the arrests. Well, the arrests took place due to a tragedy. Earlier in the year, 2 women tragically lost their lives due to drug overdoses at a rave in Los Angeles. This raised concerns about safety and led to increased attention from law enforcement. 9. Raves were anti-fashion. Today, when we think of rave fashion, we envision bold, provocative, and cutting-edge designs that often push the boundaries of what's considered acceptable. However, rewind to the 1990s and you'll find a completely different scene, one that embraced anti-fashion as a statement of rebellion and individuality. Back in the 90s, ravers weren't interested in following mainstream fashion trends. Instead, they were comfortable in androgynous clothing that allowed them to blend into the crowd. Baggy jeans, oversized t-shirts, and baseball hats were the go-to attire, signaling a rejection of the pretentious fashion of the time. Ravers were drawn to the music and the community rather than the need to stand out through fashionable outfits. The importance of comfort and practicality was another defining feature of 90s rave fashion. Ravers spent long hours dancing to electronic beats, and their clothing reflected this active lifestyle. Loose-fitting garments allowed for freedom of movement, while sneakers provided the necessary support for hours of dancing on the crowded dance floors. 8. Raves are small societies unto themselves. Raves aren't just parties, they're like little societies, each with its own unique culture and vibe. Unlike the sleek and polished world of nightclubs or rock concerts, raves support the free-spirited, peace-loving ethos of the 60s counterculture. At a rave, you'll find a vibe of acceptance and joy that's truly infectious. Nancy Borrego, a rave enthusiast, captures it perfectly. Imagine yourself being part of a world with no boundaries, no racism, no prejudice, no sexism, no rules, no guns, and no hatred. Simply a world filled with peace, love, unity, and respect. In the world of raves, judgment of any kind was strictly forbidden. It's a place where you can be yourself without fear of criticism. Whether you're dressed in elaborate costumes or simply letting loose on the dance floor, everyone is embraced for who they are. 7 raves went from punk to more mainstream. Raves have undergone a remarkable transformation over the years. In their early days, raves provided a sanctuary for those who felt marginalized by society. Piercings, tattoos, and unconventional styles were not only accepted, but celebrated. It was a space where individuals could escape judgment and feel comfortable in the company of like-minded souls. Whether you were covered in ink or preferred a more straight-edge lifestyle, there was a place for everyone to let loose and be free. As raves gained popularity and spread their influence, a noticeable shift occurred in their aesthetic. Neon colors, black lights, and psychedelic images gradually became standard for much of the rave scene. What was once considered underground and alternative has now permeated mainstream culture, influencing fashion, music, and even advertising. 6 underground raves have remained consistently popular. In the 90s, underground raves emerged as a cultural phenomenon, captivating the hearts and minds of music lovers seeking an escape from the mainstream. Away from the corporate influence of major promotion companies, underground raves relied on grassroots methods of advertisement. Flyers plastered on city walls and exclusive invitations circulated among the chosen few. It was a world where access was earned through connections and word of mouth. The best thing about the underground rave scene lay in its rebellious spirit and unfiltered creativity. People used to love the raw energy of the music, which would transport them to a world where societal norms were left at the door. It was a space where individuality was celebrated and self-expression knew no bounds. 5. Liquid light shows.
Thanks for the invitation from our dear lady.
Back in the 90s, rave parties were famous for its liquid light shows. The shows were like watching a rainbow come to life. Bright colors swirled and danced together, creating mesmerizing patterns that seemed to move with the music. It was like stepping into a magical world where anything was possible. Unlike today's high-tech visuals, 90s liquid light shows were handmade with love. Artists used simple tools like brushes and syringes to paint with light, creating one-of-a-kind masterpieces in real time. Each show was a unique work of art, crafted with care and passion. One of the coolest things about them was how they danced along with the music. Artists would move in time with the beat, creating a visual symphony that amplified the energy of the party. It was like the lights were singing and dancing right alongside the ravers. 4. Applying Vicks. Back in the 90s, if you went to a rave party, you'd notice something peculiar. Almost everyone had a small jar of Vicks VapoRub with them. But why did ravers carry this minty ointment everywhere they went? Well, Vicks contains menthol, a minty ingredient that gives you that cool, tingly feeling when you breathe it in. Ravers believed that inhaling menthol enhanced the effects of MDMA, the popular party drug of the time, so they'd apply Vicks inside their painter's masks and breathe in the menthol fumes all night long. Moreover, when you're dancing the night away at a rave, your senses are already on overdrive. The loud music, flashing lights, and throbbing energy can be overwhelming. Ravers said that inhaling Vicks made the music sound richer, the lights look brighter, and the whole experience felt more intense. If you ever attended a rave party in the 90s, you could catch a whiff of that minty aroma mixed with sweat and smoke. It became a signature scent of the rave scene. 3. Bringing pacifiers. Back in the 90s, if you looked around, you might have noticed people sucking on pacifiers. It seems strange, right? Well, ravers would often consume ecstasy pills to enhance their experience on the dance floor. However, one of the side effects of ecstasy is teeth grinding, also known as bruxism. That's where the pacifiers came in handy. They acted like a soft cushion, protecting their teeth while they danced the night away. Moreover, they were easy to find and didn't cost much, so it was easier for people to bring it. Rave parties were unexpected. Back in the 90s, rave parties weren't your typical Saturday night out. They were wild, they were rebellious, and most importantly, they were unexpected. Imagine getting a call or a tip-off just an hour before the party started. That's how spontaneous these gatherings were. Held in secret locations like abandoned warehouses or open fields, they provided an escape from the ordinary. The thrill of not knowing where the party would be until the last minute added to the excitement. Finding these underground raves was no easy task. Before the days of Google Maps, attendees relied on cryptic directions scribbled down from phone messages or word of mouth. Sometimes the directions were more like riddles, leading partygoers on a wild goose chase through the countryside. But the adventure didn't end there. Once you found the party, there was always the risk of encountering the police, who sometimes formed a ring around the location. Despite the challenges, rave enthusiasts were determined to keep the party going. The unexpected nature of these raves was like being part of a secret society, where only those in the know could experience the thrill of the underground scene. Even today, the nostalgia for those spontaneous rave parties lives on. They were a defining aspect of 90s youth culture, representing freedom, rebellion, and the joy of living in the moment. 1. Raves drew record crowds in the 1990s. Back in the early 1990s, American raves were the place to be for young folks and party animals alike. One of the hotspots for these electrifying events was the Bay Area, where the party never seemed to stop. Unlike today's strict curfews, there was no stopping the fun in the Bay Area back then. Raves often welcomed an astounding 20,000 people or more, turning ordinary spaces into vibrant dance floors. What's fascinating is that most of these raves weren't backed by big corporations. Instead, they were put together by passionate individuals or small event companies. Yet, despite the lack of big money, these gatherings consistently attracted huge crowds. So what about the promotion? Well, event organizers would plaster neighborhoods with rave flyers. It seemed like you couldn't walk a block without spotting one. These flyers weren't just pieces of paper. They were invitations to a whole new world of music, dancing, and freedom. They sparked curiosity and excitement, drawing in crowds by the thousands. The rave scene of the 1990s wasn't just about music and dancing. It was a cultural phenomenon. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you like our video. We'd really appreciate your support. If you could lend us a hand by following us, clicking on the bell icon for notifications, and leaving your valuable comments. It would mean a lot to us. Sending you warm regards from our corner of the world. Take care and goodbye for now.